It has been 6 years from the beginning of the Syrian crisis, and the question that comes to mind for many people is there still a need to help Syria? The question of Father Ibrahim al-Saba, a Franciscan priest of Aleppo, resonates in our hearts and conflicts with the desire to say no, there is no longer need for help. But the reality is quite different. Since the beginning of the conflict, the number of victims has reached as many as 400,000, including 2 million injured, 11% of the population, according to the report of the Syrian Center for Policy Research. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights stopped the tragic count in mid-2014 due to lack of reliable data. The destruction of many churches, buildings, and houses in different areas is right in front of us. And we continue to suffer here in Aleppo for things like lack of electricity and water. There is almost total unemployment. There are no jobs. The suffering is enormous.
La disoccupazione è quasi totale perché non c'è lavoro.
In Aleppo, the precedent number of 300,000 Christians is now reduced to less than 40,000. In this context, keeping hope alive is really hard and at the same time very important, said Cardinal Sandri in his message for the Good Friday collection. The presence of the Church helps people not to lose hope.
Da quando è iniziata la crisi, la Chiesa si è fatta avanti.
Since the crisis began, the Church has stepped forward and started helping the needy with humanitarian relief and with spiritual support, which never fails.
Di soccorso e di aiuto, e poi anche con il servizio spirituale che non ha mancato mai.
In Aleppo, the Franciscans have 33 ongoing humanitarian projects destined to all people but primarily intended to Christians. Through 4 reception centers, these projects provide the most immediate needs: food, clothing, or blankets, and many other necessities including health, economic, and educational provisions. The custody has been present in different areas of Syria since the 13th century and has decided to stay even under the bomb threats. Christians are now suffering on one hand and waiting on the other, meaning they expect and want the war to end and peace to return, but they are not losing hope. Beyond all these hardships, Christians continue to believe it is important to stay in Syria, where the Christian community has been present since the beginning.
I cristiani continuano a credere che sia importante rimanere lì in Siria, dove la comunità cristiana è presente fin dall'inizio.
According to data of the UN Refugee Agency updated in February 2017, the war has generated nearly 5 million refugees forced to flee mostly in neighboring countries: Lebanon, Turkey, Jordan, and Greece.
In questo momento c'è questa attenzione particolare.
Presently, we cannot forget about the Christians living in areas tested by the war, like Syria and Iraq, where there also was a very significant Christian presence that has now decimated and that is now helping those Christians who live as refugees.
Che vivono come profughi.
Vale la pena, carissimi,
helping people, dear ones, in any way possible is definitely worth it, especially in this annual Good Friday collection, and we will continue to pray for all of you.
Continuiamo e continueremo a pregare per tutti voi.